being in business is a lot of fun. And so I would just tell you, as you go through life and figure out what you're going to do, what business you want to be in, it ought to be fun. It ought to be something that you really like to do. If you hate going to work every day, you got to do something different. Because you got to get up and really want to do what you're doing. And when we get in business, it starts with a great idea. Thus, the great ideas competition. What do I want to do? And if you think about it, think about Apple. Started with two guys in a garage with some ideas. And Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. Think of Microsoft, Bill Gates. At 13 years old, this is back before computers, or like computers. He decided he could figure out how to run a computer, and he started running a computer and built the Microsoft rollout. Into the store Walmart. Sam Walton grew up and got into the retail business because he lived there and decided he could venture on his own and build a business out of it. It's probably one of the largest retailers in the world. It all started from a great idea. So you're here tonight to bring your ideas and compete with those ideas and build a roadmap for you. So, one of the first things you have to do is
This one's like, you can get it.
I'm just going to click on this.
So you switch it
For you to click the business plans, and they were given last week. This first one is from the SBA. So it's these are free business plan websites. So if you click on that, it takes you to, and it even helps you write a business plan. So you please come down here, you can write a traditional business plan or a lean startup plan, which is a smaller body set. Look at those. And a traditional business plan, which if it's down in the executive summary. The executive summary briefly tells what your company is and why it will be successful. Like on having a mission statement here. Mission statements are important. I'm going to show you to you. What is your product and your team, employees, and location, financial information.
If you're
You could include a company description. The company description could be with your executive summary. You could have market analysis. You've gone out and you've tested and found out from people that my idea or my business work is included. And you have the data there in there, your organization and management. What will your company be structured? Who will run it? Who's your team? Again, that was up in the executive summary. Could be broken out here. What's your legal structure, right? We're going to talk a little bit about that as we go further here. What do you do? What's your service? What are your product line? How are you going to market? How are you going to sell? And are there any funding requests and financial projections? Now, it even gives you a place if you want to go here and you can download this simply Rebecca's plan. And she's a consulting business. So she writes this business plan. She has an executive summary which tells about her product, her customers, future of the company. She includes a company description, which has a mission statement, principal members, and the legal structure. She gives some market research on her market. And what is her product? And she has here, this is the only financial information she has. This is her pricing structure. We're going to learn tonight, we want to look more at that in our business plan. And then some research and development. And so, anyway, there were three, we'll go back to that, there were three business plans. That these are all free. You can get on any one of these, and you can go in, and they can help you write a business plan for something you might want to do. We also have the Life Plan, business plan, and the school has some subscriptions to them. So if you want that, you can get in touch with the team, and they can help you get a Life Plan. To use that. So, a mission statement. A mission statement for your idea, for your company, should tell the values that you want in your company. What values are important to you. This is a mission statement that I wrote for my company many years ago. And when I was learning how to write mission statements, and I've been in business a long time, and then I went to this seminar, and they taught me how to write a mission statement. I thought, well, that's probably a pretty good idea. And the morale that it builds, and the good that it builds in a company is huge. And so, having a mission statement is important. So, my mission statement says, Watkin stands as a stimulating organization of committed and passionate individuals that empower the team to achieve success for themselves, for each team member, and for our clients by being trusting, honest, and committed to each other's success. So every Monday, our company recites this mission statement to help us remember what our mission is about. We're a construction company. We build buildings. That doesn't say anything about building buildings in that mission statement, does it? It talks about our core values. It talks about building people. It talks about helping each other, our clients and the people who work for the company. So that would be a good thing to include in your business plan as a mission statement. So in the United States, there's different kinds of legal structures. In other countries, they may be something different, but as a person starting their own business, they probably want to be a sole proprietor, which means you choose different business legal structures for tax purposes, for liability purposes, and so one form is a sole proprietor, another is a partnership, and there's corporations. There's a C Corp, there's an S Corp, there's a limited liability corporation. So, for this, you don't really need to choose for your idea, but as you get started on a business, you need to, and if you're in the United States, you need to plan this. If you're in a different country, you need to figure out what those legal structures are and have them and get signed up for one of those so that you're doing your business legally and properly within your country. So we're going to talk now a little bit about financial planning and why it's important in your business. This statement says it costs money to grow a business, and most people don't have unlimited resources. If you don't plan for how you're going to grow and how much it's going to cost, you can easily waste your two most precious resources, time and money. So why financial reports? Why budget? They're a roadmap and a tool to achieve your financial target. We build buildings. So we go out, we have equipment, we have tools, we have saws, hammers, drills, and we use those kind of tools. Just as important as those tools are in building a financial, your financial reports are the same kind of a roadmap and tool that you'd use like any other tool. And some people will have a CPA, like Elder Coates here, prepare a financial statement, pass it on to their bank, and they'll get the insurance company and the body company, and then it'll sit on a shelf and they never see it again until the next year. It helps with the bank, it helps with who you give it to, but it doesn't help you if you do that. So it needs to be brought out and it needs to analyze it regularly. You need to know where your profits are and where your break-even points are. And you can use those financial reports to help you go get funding from investors or banks if you need some funding to get your business going. So, what is a budget? What we start with? What's at the beginning of we call this our use budget and income statement together. But we need to know how much we're going to project, how much money are we going to bring in for this, whatever service or product we're going to do. Then we need to know the cost of that, So the amount of revenue that comes in minus the cost of goods sold, or how much it costs you to do something, whatever it is you're doing. Last year, administrative, or the word for that is overhead expense, equals net income. It can be a profit or a loss. Revenue minus expenses equals net income. So, stage environment. So I don't know if you can see that very well. This is just a format that we use in our company, and we call it our vital factors. So as you can see here, we have our revenue and our goal. So for the year, this is not my company. This is just one that I made up. Okay? So for the year, this mock company here, this mock company, our goal is to do $50 million worth of work a year. So $50 million divided by 12 gives us a monthly income of a budget of $4.1 million we have to bring in every month. And then we record what we actually bring in every month. And then what the difference is, the budget versus the actual. So you can see that 50 million was our goal. We brought in 40, I can't read, 45, so we're under it, or $4.3 million. So we didn't quite meet our goal of revenue, but then we know that to build a building, 93.5% of the revenue is going to be what our cost of goods sold is. So we also set up a budget for that. So
that's like is usually recognition that.
And this is our 93%. That is $42 million, and we actually spent $42 million. So we stayed pretty good on what it cost us to build our projects. We track our overhead. We want it to be 3.5% or less. Overhead is administrative cost and your administrative expenses on that office. So we figured that, and there's our budget. This is what we did. We actually did a little bit better. You always want to do not spend as much in your overhead. If you do better, it's a good thing. And so this is account earnings. So $1.5 million, 3%. 3% plus 3.5%, we're playing the 3.5% out to So our goal of income and profit is $1.5 million. We try to keep what we do each month. And again, we can be just a little bit less than what we projected. A couple of the things we do is we track our sales. This is money in the door. This is contracts that we sign. So we track two different ways of doing that. Because a contract, let's say you're going to build a temple. A temple is not built in 12 months. It might be 2.5 years. So you can't bring all the money in 1 year, so you have to spread it out. But we signed a contract, and we track that. And then this here is a percent of closure. This is how many jobs we bid a year and how many we win. Our goal is to win 36% of our jobs. And we actually did 40%. Which we're really happy with. But when you look at that, you think, you only get 36%. So you're losing 2/3 of the time in your estimates. And I can tell you that at 40%, it's good. We don't have the capacity, we don't have the labor, we don't have everything we need to take care of if we have 100% everything's bid. And there's too much competition, there's too many other factors. Sometimes we will bid a job and we'll purposely bid it high because we don't have the resources to cover it. And so, this is a tool that we use, and it's very helpful.
Questions?
Yes?
I just
like two days of content, or I just do that.
She always waits to have this. So, if this is on
Go back. So it's not very good to tell people when they call and ask you, hey, can you bid this project? No, we won't. It's not a good thing to do. So we will tell them yes, and we will then allocate what our resources are. We do tell people no sometimes, but if it's a client, in our business, 90% of our work is repeat business. It's really hard to tell our clients no. So, but sometimes we won't be way high. We will be, so we don't get the job. Sometimes we don't figure right. We get the job.
So, Margaret's sounds like
We bid it so that the way we do it is projects come in and we usually will say yes, we'll bid it or no, we won't. But then we'll have one of our clients that we've worked with for a long time, we really need you to look at this. Sometimes they just want another number to check all the bids that come in on it. There's a lot of factors that go into it. Okay. Okay. So from that other sheet we had, this is what the net income statement, or statement of earnings. That was the construction, now revenue, students, costs, this is our gross profit, this is our general and administrative expenses, and there's our net income. Now, we also have some other, perhaps some of the profits that we've had in the past, we've invested in different things, and we've had some other ways to have some securities, some stock that we're invested in, so we make some money on that. So there's our net income for this mock company. So even though we didn't make our goals, it still turned out okay. I'm going to pass on this one. And then our overhead is broken down with these here salaries, benefits, rents, insurance, so on and so forth. That just gives you a description of that. So we talked about a lot of numbers, and those numbers can be a little bit confusing and maybe a little bit overwhelming. When you first started working on a computer, maybe it was pretty hard, but it just worked on it, it's so overwhelming. Maybe for you guys, back in the second grade, computers not great. So, but once you get doing it, it becomes easier and easier, and you understand it becomes always okay. When I first got here, I walked into a meeting with Susan Coons, and she says, okay, you're giving a presentation in 2 weeks or whatever time it was, and so go put your slide deck together and do that. Slide deck? What's a slide deck? I didn't have a clue what she was talking about, so I went through that. I got some people to help me, and that was unbelievable. But I didn't have a clue. Now I'm saying all that good at it, I could do that. And so, but I those numbers to use like the gosh, I mean, look there. The more you go through it, the easier it gets, the better it gets. But maybe to explain this, I need a volunteer to look in here to these. Okay. I want you to pick a number between 1 and 31. Don't tell anybody. Maybe you want to whisper to the young man next to you, just so that. Is it on this screen? Is it on this screen?
It's on the last.
What?
It was on the last.
You told me no.
I know, I lied to you.
Okay, for this to work, you got to be truthful. Was it on the first screen?
No, what's the sound?
It's not there. Is it here? Is it here? Is it here? Is it here? So your number is 30?
Yeah.
Okay. Did I talk to you before this class? Have you ever seen me before? Okay. So we didn't set it up. So just like there's a lot of numbers here, when you can use those numbers and you figure out the process to it, it's not that hard. And just like this little game, well, how did you do that? Maybe the way I said it. No, it's a mathematical formula in how you determine how this works. So if you're going to be in business, start liking how to look at numbers and love the numbers. If you're an accountant, you eat, drink, and sleep numbers. So tonight, we're going to walk through how to do a little pizza food truck business. And I was able to research out, this is just a picture, but a little truck that we can rent, and we're going to start doing pizzas. So I don't know, I'm going to figure out if this is going to be a good business or not. So my first scenario is we're going to do 30 pizzas a day in this food truck. Okay? So I'll walk through the numbers on this one, and then I'm going to have you guys work through them on the next one. So we figured that we could do 30 pizzas a day, $20 a pizza for 20 days a month. Because we want to go to church on Sunday, right? And we want to have a day off to go to the beach or do your laundry, something. So we know that we're going to 30 pizzas a day, $20 a pizza for 20 days a month is $12,000. Now, I was able to negotiate a food truck with all the utilities and everything that you need for $2,500 a month. And for those of you that's been here before and seen this, just enjoy it again. We figure we can do this with 3 people at working 8 hours a day at $15 an hour. We're going to offset those so they're not all working at the same time. So that's going to cost us $7,200 a month. And we got to pay tax. Much you benefits. 30% of that is going to be that. And we figured, we took how much dough we need and how much sauce we need and how much ingredients and all the other stuff to make pizzas. We figured it's going to cost us $4 a pizza. And so $2,400 in expenses for the pizzas. And then for our car and our gas and the boxes and plates and plasticware, napkins, etc., we figured put that together, and that's going to cost us $1,000 a month. And so our expenses are $15,260. So does this look like a good business?
So, no.
No, because it is $3,260 a month. So we can't very well run a business and losing money. And if you equate that out to a year, we've lost 28%, $39,000. And our average pizza should at least make 15%. So in order to do that, we know that we got to do 30 pizzas. For this scenario, we got to do 38 pizzas a month to break even, or a day to break even. So we got our heads together with our group. We said, okay, what if we do 60 pizzas? So I'm going to let you guys do a little figure. Remember the rents, $2,500. The labor, $7,200. And the payroll taxes are $21,060. So those things are costing because we still use the same truck, we still use the same labor, so if we're going to do 60 pizzas a day, $20 a pizza for 20 days a month, how much is that going to eat? $24,000. Correct. You know that our rent's $2,500. Labor's that, benefits. Now, how much is our pizza going to cost us? $4 a pizza.
It's good $40.
Huh?
Those is
Okay, $4,800. Good job. And it was $1,000 for 30 pizzas, for 16 pizzas. Well, how about this expensively? $2,000. So we have $18,660 of expenses. We got $24,000 of revenue, and we made $5,340, which is more than 15%. And so It's actually 22%, or $64,000 a year. Is that a good business?
Yeah. Good.
So then we decide, she's up here waiting her handling out. Well, doesn't sound like that good of a business to me. So she wants to make more money than $64,000 a year. She's got a house on the beach she wants to build, and so she's going to do better than that. So we put our heads together as our team, and we decide, well, let's do 100 pizzas a day. Now, we went down to Domino's over here, and we talked to them, and we found out they can do 100 pizzas an hour. So maybe we can do 100 pizzas a day with our 3-man crew. They have 3 people over there working. They have a lot bigger kitchen than our food trucks, but we figure we can do that. So let's see. So 100 pizzas a day, $20 a pizza, and days a month. How much is that going to be for our revenue?
I good.
30,000, you're correct. And our rent's the same, our labor's the same, our payroll tax the same, $4 a pizza. What's that gonna be?
That was
We got some good mathematicians in here that just comes to their head automatically. And our miscellaneous ones, you gotta kinda interpolate there. Is that 23,000 is our total of expenses? So we're making $16,000 a month, or $200,000 a year. Is that a good business?
good.
Either one of those, the 60 or the 100 pizza businesses can work. So that's the value of figuring out what your revenue is, what your expenses are, and how much you're going to make to help you determine, should I do this or should I not? Because we all want to go out and help the world. We all want to go do good. You cannot go do any good if you don't have the resource to do it with. And so you have to plan, and you may not going to go be the philanthropist in your first year. You got to work at it and work at it and work at it and build up enough to where you can have a good, viable business. And then you can go help others. For many years, as a young person in business, it was all about let's make money and I want the nice house on the beach type thing too, and want stuff. But there comes a point in your life when that's not that motivating. What becomes really motivating is being able to see others be able to have those opportunities and help others along their way. And so your team builds things and you get a plan to where you can help others. We're not going to do that. So if you have, if you want help with your financial plan, if you want help with your business plan, if you want help with mentoring your ideas, this is my QR code. You're certainly welcome. You can go on there. It'll take you to a calendar. You can set up a time that works for you. Brother Reber over here is also a mentor, and we showed you his, and he's presenting next week, and we showed you his QR code last week, so you can click on that and you can mentor with him too. He's owned many businesses, and he's an expert in the business world. So, are there any questions? Anybody would like to ask? Yes.
So, Joel Billington.
Do you want to come up here and speak in the mic so everybody can hear you? And so that our people filming you can hear you too. That's another thing in business. Sometimes we like to sit on the back row and really not get recognized because it's more comfortable back there. But growth takes place outside of the comfort zone. You can never grow in the comfort zone. So she doesn't want to do it, but she's here doing it, so look at her grow.
Okay. My question is, yeah, I can put things on a spreadsheet, but I don't know how to project, what's a modest estimation of how many sales I'm gonna get, like it's easy to figure your costs, but it's harder to figure your revenue. So how do you go about doing that as a startup company?
So, well, if you've been in business a while, you've kind of learned what you can do on a yearly basis, and you kind of set goals based on what you have done in the past. Just starting out, you're going to have to just say, okay, in order for this to work for me, to get the end result that I want, I need to do X, and set that as your goal of how many gadgets you're going to make and sell.
Okay, so it's more closer to setting a goal rather than
Yes.
saying this is what I'm going to do no matter.
So every year in my company, we've been in business for 72 years. I haven't been there that long. My dad was there before myself. But we still sit down every year, we set a goal of what's our revenue going to be this year. And we don't know if we're going to hit it, but we go out and work for it every year. So it's a guess. Maybe an educated guess, but it's a guess. So it's a goal. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. All right. Anything else? What's our next step, Susan?
I'll say, really good.
Okay, great.
The learning lab, but I would add, issue question. Recently, there's somebody is like, consider what what do you think? You have a speak, yeah, we did it. Zero research, but nothing. Or she said, you said,
Good, thank you. All right, well, thank you for being here, and we'll turn it over to Ruby.